Copa America 2019, and in today's video we are going to be predicting the entire Copa America tournament coming this summer and starting very shortly. It's very exciting, so many good nations, so many really good teams and players in here, and in today's video we're going to be going through the group stage, looking at who's going to progress, going on to the knockout stage, and most importantly, who is going to lift that famous trophy this summer. Is it going to be the host Brazil? Is it going to be Lionel Messi's Argentina? Is it going to be the reigning champions Chile? Lots to discuss. So many nations here which have a genuine chance. And today, we're going to be predicting who's coming out on top. And by the way guys, this is my second Copa America video this summer. I did do before this an ultimate guide to all of the nations competing in this year's Copa America. If you haven't seen that, that is going to be down in the description below. But without further ado, let's get on now with Group A, which I'll tell you now is going to be a very interesting one for a few different reasons. You're going to see why in just a moment's time. But we kick off here with Brazil against Bolivia. That's the opening game there on the opening night, the 15th of June. Brazil, I think certainly are going to win that opening game. They're not only going to win it, I think they're going to do it comfortably by 3-0 against Bolivia, opening up the tournament there in style and really starting as they mean to go on in this tournament. They mean business here. They've got some fantastic players, and I'm going to go 3-0 there to Brazil against Bolivia. And then for me, it's a massive game. Venezuela, Peru, that is massive for me. Two teams there who are going to be battling, I feel, to get out of that group, to finish runners-up, to progress to the knockout stages, and very early on there, in the opening match day for those teams, that's a really crucial game, and I'm going to go there. Venezuela 1, Peru 1. I'm going to go with a draw. Very difficult there to separate those two teams. Both of them have a chance. Both of them will believe, and I'm going to go there with a draw between those two, which early on puts Brazil ahead in Group A. And then on to Bolivia against Peru in the next match day there. I'm going to go here with a win for Peru. I'm going to go here with Peru 2, Bolivia 1. I'm going to say Bolivia are going to get a goal there, but Peru may have too much for them. They're going to get their first win on the board, which of course then will put big pressure on Venezuela to get something against Brazil, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Brazil once again, they're going to handle the pressure, they're going to handle the occasion. I'm going here for Brazil 2, Venezuela 0, and that there straight away, 2 wins out of 2, 6 points for Brazil. Peru there in second place with a win, and that now puts the pressure firmly on Venezuela in that final match day against Bolivia to get something. First up though, I'm going to say Brazil are going to make it 3 out of 3 against Peru by 1-0. Peru there are going to put up a good fight. They're certainly going to defend, but I think there Brazil are going to sneak through, get themselves a goal, and wrap up this group with 3 wins out of 3. And actually, I'm going to say there Brazil are going to go through those 3 games without even conceding a goal, and then Venezuela, I believe, will beat Bolivia by 1-0. Again, very narrow margins. I don't think anybody in this tournament is going to get swept aside. Every single team here who are coming into this tournament are going to put up a fight. They are certainly going to be difficult to beat, but I'm going to go there, Venezuela winning, which could be very key, because remember, the top 2 there will go through, which will be Brazil and which will be Peru, going through there to the knockout stages. But also, all of the third teams that finish third in the group, they're going to be competing in their own table, and 2 of those will also progress to the knockout rounds. But in Group A, Brazil flawless in the group stage, and Peru going through on 4 points on goal difference. And now on to Group B, which of course contains Lionel Messi's Argentina side, and I have to say straight away, this is not going to be any walk in the park whatsoever for Argentina here. Colombia are going to challenge them. Paraguay won't be easy. Qatar as well coming into this tournament, nothing to lose for them. And I think straight away there, you look at it once again, that opening match day, Argentina against Colombia, that's a massive game. That's a really crucial game to see who tops this group. And I'm going to say early on there, Argentina 1, Colombia 1. Nothing to separate the two teams. They're both going to be maybe a bit conservative in that game. I'm going there with a draw. I'm then going to follow that up with a win for Paraguay over Qatar. 1-0, very tight once again. Qatar may just take some time to get going in this tournament, and I'm going to get a win there for Paraguay by 1-0. And then, of course, on to Colombia against Qatar themselves. I'm going to go once again with a narrow win, very slender margin. Nobody at this tournament, like I say, is going to get demolished, going to get absolutely dominated. I'm going to go there with Colombia 2, Qatar 1, and that then puts the pressure back on Argentina. Colombia there with 4 points in their opening 2 games, unbeaten in those games. Argentina against Paraguay, and I just feel like this could be one of those games where Argentina just buckle, don't quite get the points, just slip. Maybe they go behind and they can't quite recover it, or Messi can't quite recover it for the Argentina side. I'm going to go Paraguay 1, Argentina 1 there in that massive game, which could be the game there that sees Argentina go through in second place, because I do believe then again, they will go on and beat Qatar. I'm going to go Argentina 3, Qatar 1. But I also believe on the final match day there, Colombia 2, Paraguay 0. I think their Colombia are going to come through the group unbeaten with 7 points in total, 2 wins and a draw, whereas Argentina are only going to manage the 1 win. For me, they'll beat Qatar, but they may not get past Colombia and they may not get past Paraguay if that game turns out to be difficult for them. But as we move on to Group C, I'm going to say now, finishing second in Group B may actually be an easier route, a slightly easier route in the quarterfinals for Argentina, but as you get onto the semi-finals, it will certainly get a lot more difficult for them, as you'll see. Because Group C here, featuring Uruguay, Chile, Ecuador and Japan, really strong teams once again. Uruguay put out their squad for the Copa America and it looks absolutely wonderful. So many good players in there, so much talent right throughout their team, and straight away I'm going to go there Uruguay 2, Ecuador 0, Uruguay kicking off this group here with a really strong win, and I do fancy them in this tournament to go really, really deep because they are such a good team. I'm then going to follow that up with a really high scoring game. Japan always seem to produce very entertaining matches. Chile are going to need some goals in this tournament, no doubt about it. I'm going to go there 3-2, Japan just about losing out on that occasion. Uruguay then will be playing the Japanese, and I'm going to go once again with a strong Uruguay victory. Uruguay 3, Japan 1. So straight away there, Uruguay with 2 out of 2 wins, 6 points in total after those 2 games. Chile have got 1 win as well, but I believe they will slip up maybe there to Ecuador. I'm going to go Ecuador 1, Chile 1. It's not going to be an easy game. Ecuador are going to come here and they're going to try and maybe in this group get through on the 3rd place ruling, and I'm going to go there with a 1-1 draw between Chile and Ecuador. And then finally, the massive game in this group, which really will determine who finishes out on top, and I think here, Uruguay are going to be flawless. I'm going to say very similar to Brazil, it's going to be 3 wins from 3 games, and once again, just the 1 goal conceded there from Uruguay in those 3 games. They're just about going to see off Chile a 0-0, very slender margins, and in the final game of the group, which could determine whether Ecuador go through on that 3rd place ruling, I don't think they're going to beat Japan. I think, again, a very high scoring game. Japan are never going to give up. They're going to keep going right until the very end. Even with nothing to play for, they are certainly going to put their heart and soul on the line. 2-2 there, which will mean Uruguay progress to the knockout stages, as do Chile, the reigning champions. But unfortunately, that will mean Ecuador miss out on the 3rd place. Because as you can see here, Venezuela and Paraguay will be progressing to the knockout stages by virtue of being the best placed 3rd teams, because they both picked up 4 points according to my predictions there, with Ecuador finishing on just the 2 points, which means the knockout stage will read as follows. Brazil will face Paraguay, Peru will face Argentina, and in the other half of the draw, Colombia against Chile, Uruguay against Venezuela, and that there sees our knockout stage set. And that's what I mean there about Argentina finishing 2nd in their group, because you could certainly argue that Peru would be an easier game in theory than the reigning champions Chile in the other half, like Colombia have there in that game. But at the same time, if Argentina do get past Peru, they could face Brazil in the semi-finals, which will be a massive test. But hey, let's get on now to the knockout stages, starting there with the hosts, Brazil against Paraguay. And I think for me, once again, that there is a Brazil victory. I think in this kind of tournament, they've got players right throughout their team now. They're not massively reliant all on one player. Yes, Neymar is their star man. They do have star players, but at the same time, I feel here that they've got so many top quality players in every single area of the pitch. I'm going there, Brazil 3, Paraguay 0, Brazil there onto the semi-finals. I'm then going to go Argentina, just about to beat Peru. I'm going to go there with a 1-0 victory. That's all it's going to be. Very narrow margins. I think, to be honest right now, Argentina would take that. Lionel Messi is happy to get his hands on this trophy, whatever it takes. 1-0 against Peru. They're going to put up a good fight. They did well here once again to get to the knockout rounds. Argentina just about going through there to face Brazil. In the other half, I'm going to go Colombia with a victory against Chile. That's not going to be easy either. I just don't think Chile, coming into this tournament, are the same team that we've seen over the past few seasons. Particularly in this tournament, I just don't feel they've got the same core they used to have. And Colombia do have some good attacking quality. And I'm going to go there with Colombia 2, Chile 0. I'm going to go Colombia there, getting through to the semi-finals. Then on to Uruguay against Venezuela. And I think there, once again, much like Brazil, Uruguay are going to be comfortable. I think they're going to get through that game. They're going to beat Venezuela, who'll do well, to be honest here, to get into the quarterfinals. But I'm going to go here with Uruguay 2, Venezuela 0. Which means the semi-finals will stand as follows if my predictions up to this point have been correct. I'm going to go Brazil against Argentina in the one semi-final, and in the other, Colombia against Uruguay. And that there would be two phenomenal semi-final matches. Really good nations, really exciting players on show, and that there would be a phenomenal tournament if it got to that stage, and then it really gets started. Because let's start here with Colombia against Uruguay in the other half there in the semi-final, and I think that game could be really exciting. Colombia, an attack-minded team, they're going to put bodies forward, they're certainly going to get a lot of pace in their team, a lot of flair, and at the same time, Uruguay are so structured, aren't they? They're so balanced, they're so organised. Under their coach, of course, he's been there year upon year upon year. He knows all of this squad like the back of his hand. Everybody knows each other, they work for each other, they play for each other, and of course, at the end of the day, they do have, on their day, two world-class forwards, Edinson Cavani and Luis Suarez, who stepped up for their nations when they've really needed it in these kind of moments. And I think Uruguay, looking at their team, looking at the balance they have, looking at the way they play, I believe they would get past Colombia in the semi-finals. But again, it would be so tight margins. It would be nothing to separate the two teams. But I think they're Uruguay 1, Colombia 0, a low-scoring game, really heavily contested. But Uruguay, for me, can get through to the Copa America final. And then in the other side, the South American derby match between Brazil and Argentina. I would love to see that game, simply to experience it, to experience the fans, especially on Brazilian soil. That game would be electric in this stage of the tournament. Even better if that could be the final. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at Lionel Messi, when you wanted to win this trophy, of course we do. We really do. But Brazil are such a good team. Argentina, as of right now anyway, they haven't shown they can be that kind of team. Yes, they have good individual players. Messi, of course, will always rise highest. Messi will try and drag his team over the line. But at the end of the day, in these kind of tournaments, there's only so much that he can do. There's only so far that he can take this team. And Brazil are just up a notch for me. They're just a better team, a better unit. They've got star quality in their team. And I would just about fancy it. Even though potentially I wouldn't want them to, I do believe on this occasion they would beat Argentina. I'm going to go there. Brazil 2. Argentina 1 once again. Just falling short. And so that leaves us there with the final of Brazil against Uruguay. And that for me would be a really exciting tactical match because like I say, you've got Uruguay who are so structured. They can certainly defend. They can defend in numbers. They'll frustrate Brazil. They'll try and stop that flair. They'll try and stop that creativity. They'll try and get into the tackles, get really tight to Brazil's star men. And certainly they wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like to play against this Uruguay side, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, Brazil, I do feel, do have the quality to get around Uruguay. They do have the quality to score goals, and right throughout the tournament I can just see them being a very consistent team. They'll have the home crowd behind them. If they can handle that pressure, they can use the crowd to their advantage like so many have before at Copa Americas. The host nation often do well, and I think Brazil here are going to bring the trophy home. I think Brazil can win Copa America. I think they've got the team to do it. They've got the fans behind them. Everything right now is in their favour. Neymar, of course, has to make sure that he's fit, but for me, Brazil would beat Uruguay. I'm going to go there. Brazil 2, Uruguay 1 in the Copa America final. And so that there, guys, is my personal predictions for Copa America 2019, with Brazil winning the tournament, Uruguay as the runners-up, and Argentina potentially going out to their arch-rivals in the semi-final stage. Like I say, I would love nothing more than for Lionel Messi to win this tournament, win it for Argentina, get that international trophy in the bag. But at the end of the day, there's only so much he can do. Argentina have got to match him. They've got to try and get their team to play as a team, to try and play for Messi, to try and give him the foundations to go and win a trophy. But at the end of the day, we are going to find out in just over 2 weeks' time. Copa America is coming to us. And I'll tell you what, it should be a phenomenal tournament. Like I said at the start, so many good nations, some brilliant players on show. And this summer's tournament, I really do believe, in Brazil as well, it should be something special. So leave your thoughts and your predictions in the comments down below, guys. What do you expect to happen in Copa America 2019? Who's going to win? Who's going to be the star player? Who's going to be the shock? Who's going to really surprise people with their progress? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you, of course, with more videos. But for now, that's it from me. Until next time, it's Copa America.